Hey, what is going on, guys? This is Ben here, and today I'm bringing you another Boom Beach video. This is going to be the Boom Beach tip video. It is finally here, and it's actually taken quite a while to make. I did a lot of like notes and stuff on what tips I think would be the best, because I want to keep like the core tips that could help out pretty much anyone in the game. So this is going to follow this format where like the beginner tips are kind of in the beginning, the intermediate tips are in the middle, and the somewhat, I'd say, harder tips, I guess, or more veteran tips are towards the end. So I hope you guys get something out of this video. There's a lot of value in here for any incoming Boom Beach player or anyone that just wants to learn a little bit more about the game. So I hope you guys at least learn something. That's my goal here. It did take quite a while to make, like I said. So make sure to leave a like if you guys enjoy this video, and I'll let you guys get into it. So I see this a lot, especially down in the lower levels, where people literally stack their buildings like right next to each other, kind of like this the group of 4 buildings and this group of 3 buildings over here. You do not want to do that, because one artillery shot could potentially damage and take out all 4 of these at a time. If they dropped an artillery shot from their gunboat right in the middle of these 4 buildings, they can all get damaged and potentially all taken out. So you definitely want to spread out your buildings, and even like a 3 section here, they can still hit all 3 of those wherever a building is literally touching another building. So you want to keep your distance with your defensive buildings, keep them at least like spread out once apart. And then as the same goes for mines, you could seriously take out all 6 of these mines right here with 1 artillery shot. If you placed it right in the middle, it would take them all out. So you do not want to have your grouped up mines, because mines play a key part in defending and just overall strategy of how a person attacks. So even placing them kind of like these two, however, someone could drop an artillery shot and take out both of these mines at the same time and drop it in the middle. So you definitely want to spread them out a little bit. And like right here, we got these 3. 1 artillery shot in the middle will take out all 3. So you want to spread them out evenly. And then if you're at a level where barrages are relevant, you kind of want to spread out your mines like even more than you normally would. I mean, you can try and lure people to attack through them or to go through them, but also look out behind sniper towers, because you can't even see my mine right now, so you can see it's still there, but you can hide sniper towers behind buildings. There's some radars sometimes at the higher level that it can go behind, and even when you have masterpieces, check behind the masterpieces for mines. So yeah, just don't group up your buildings together and space them out so they all can't be shocked at the same time as well. So that should help you out. Now this next tip has to do with base design, and it's for early on. A strong base actually does help out a lot. Now in the later levels, I know like if you see my main base, I really don't care about defenses too often. That is because I'm so high up in metals, but if you're new to the game, this is something important. You want to have a good base layout that actually defends for you. So you want to kind of build it on the premise of protecting your HQ, and there's a lot of different base layouts. You can look online for a few, but personally I like early on in the video game, or in the Boom Beach, I mean, I like having my HQ towards the island, close up right at the front. So like I have my sniper towers and my long range defenses hitting the troops as soon as they hit the battlefield, or they try and drop their troops on the beach. You can also put your mortars up there, but I like to have my mortars cover the entire base. And you want to kind of keep your, I consider these economy buildings or useless buildings. These are the buildings that don't do anything to enemy troops. I kind of keep them hard to get for the enemy team or the opposing attacker, because if you kill these bases, they do get gunboat energy, and the more gunboat energy they have, the more shocks and medkits they can use. So you want to keep it like so these aren't easily to get to. A lot of people will just throw them in the back here, like all of them thrown back here, and that's fine early on when not a lot of people have a lot of gunboat energy, but I don't really advise that later on, because someone could flare their troops all the way back there. So you just want to have good symmetry of your base, your defenses kind of protecting each other, and yeah, so just have a good base layout. You can use mine if you want, if you're HQ8, or look at some of my past videos of my low level account. You can look at those base designs, because I'll show you my radar here. I defend more often than I lose here, and that's pretty much the goal. And you want to deter attacks so you can save up them resources. And the next tip is also going to be on attacking. A lot of people, when I first started Boom Beach, I did not know this. So if you do not know this, this might help you out and could potentially change some of the outcomes of your raids and stuff like that. So if you see this enemy has a HQ level 8 right in the middle there, Now, I'm not actually going to attack him, but I'm just going to show you a pretty sweet tip. You see all of these trees back here. I always thought these were like the no zone. You couldn't ever go back here. So a lot of people have their HQ like up against the trees, and you can literally, all you have to do is run around and take out the HQ with not much, or worrying about less defenses. So if you have enough gunboat energy, what you can do is drop your troops on one side, and you can flare it to the trees, and literally you could have your troops running through the trees, run around everything, and then come back from the backhand flank. It's just a good tip to know in case you ever have to do that. Now, like I said, I'm not actually going to attack this guy's base. I was just showing you that it is possible to run through the trees and let you guys know that, because that actually took me a while to figure that out. I don't know why, but I did start playing when not much was known about the game, or no guides or anything were available at the time. So that is a good tip that helps me out, and yeah, I hope you guys can make use of that. So this next tip has to do with resource base and trees. Alright, so you all know that resource bases give you resources for your base and whatever the desired design is and whatnot like that. So if you want, you can definitely take those over. They help you acquire resources when you're offline. But that's not what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be talking about the trees on the map here. Now, a lot of you may have known or did not know, but you can actually remove these trees for extra wood, and you want to do that because gold is a lot easier to get in this game. Gold is a lot easier to get in this game than wood. So it's 600 gold to remove and get you 300 wood. So if you're low on upgrades or whatever, and you need some wood or whatnot, definitely, because you can see I'm stacked on gold right now and I'm pretty low on wood. So definitely, when you get a resource base, just check to make sure if there's any trees you can remove. Some of them you can't remove because you're not a high enough HQ yet, but it is just another little tip to get more resources for your base, more wood, and overall it gives you more options to play around with your resource base as well. I mean, I only have 2 machine guns here, but that's alright. And it also helps you get this achievement right here. Where is it? I forget what it's called. Harness Nature. Remove 100 trees and rocks, and then you get some diamonds. So that's always nice as well. This next tip is for all levels here. Do not get life statues or the green statues. They don't help out too much, even if it's a masterpiece for gold or whatnot. The only time I would suggest actually getting one of these is if you honestly don't play Boom Beach too much and you just occasionally check it and then you collect your resources and try and upgrade something. That's the only time I would recommend getting a life statue or a masterpiece. Otherwise, the ice statues and magma statues and dark statues are just so much better, because magma statues help out your troops in attacking. Dark statues, you can get resource reward to get more resources from attacking. It can help out your gunboat energy, which is key, and you can get some power stone chances as well to get more power powder, which is more relevant later on in the game when you're attacking a lot harder bases. And then if you have the chance, ice statues improve your base's defense. So there's much more better options than a life statue, because you can simply gain the resources just from making attacks. But like I said, if you don't play too much, then it might be an option for you. But that's the only time I'd ever suggest getting a life statue. Here's another tip that can be applicable to all levels. I'm guilty of this sometimes, where I just check out a base, click hit attack. You do not want to do this if you want to save your troops and in turn save you some time. What you want to do is, see this button on the top here, you want to hit scout, and you actually want to scout out the bases. You want to do this every time before you attack. It doesn't matter what level they are, or it doesn't matter how much resources they have, just scout them out before, because you can always check behind, like I was talking about earlier with the mines, you can always check behind the statues, even the sniper towers, if there's some mines behind there. And luckily this guy doesn't have really any boom mines or anything behind the sniper towers. But yeah, so you can just tap the building, check to make sure they're not there, because this will help you out and save your troops and maybe make the difference in the raid, because I've failed to do this sometimes, where I just drop my troops, go about it, and then there's a boom mine or something and it takes out my warriors or heavies that I didn't even see. So always want to scout out a base. You don't just want to go hit attack and then, oh, I'm just going to drop my troops here and then let them run. Definitely scouted attack. You do not want to get owned, kind of like what I'd be doing right here. It's a really key, and I think it's overlooked sometimes even by myself, but if you want to save troops, definitely scout. Alright, so this next one is about upgrading, and this can be used from all levels across Boom Beach, and it's just such a useful tool if you don't have diamonds to spend on upgrades, kind of like how I do sometimes. say you have a really big upgrade. For instance, say I have to upgrade my sculptor. I don't even have enough resources, I don't even have enough storage to get the capacity, but say I did and I really needed to get this upgrade because I just wanted another statue. What I would do before this is days before I would even attempt for that upgrade, is plan out when my map gets invaded. So I would check out whenever a player gets invaded and check to see if they have a lot of loot. Now this right here may be a lot of loot for you, but depending on what your level, like this is not a lot of loot for me. So I'm gonna find a new opponent and I'm always gonna scout out and see how this guy has a lot of wood, but I get wood a lot, so that's not like a ton for me. So what you do for a couple days is just like try and stack your map full of player bases that have a lot of resources. This is what I did the other day, because as you can see I have my radar upgrading, which is a pretty big upgrade as well. And so what I would do is, like right down here I got this nice resource, or not, this nice player base full of resources down here, and he's probably the only good one left on my map because I pretty much cleared it out. So, then I would scout this one, check see if he has a lot of resources. He doesn't, so you can either attack them right away just to get him off your map and hope for another spawn of a player base, but when you do come across the base that has a lot of resources, definitely keep them on your map for a while when you're planning a big upgrade. Don't just clear them, and I don't know, it's just helps out a lot. Like if you watch my jackpot resources, I've been saving some of those bases up for a while. Like you guys don't see that, you think they spawn like right away, they don't. I've been saving them on my map for a while. And now another thing you can do with this is when you have a lot of stacked player bases with resources on your map, you can wait for preferably Dr. Terror's volcano base, because usually it gives a lot more loot. And that's the day when, if you have a resource reward statue, you boost your resource reward and you plan out like an hour or 2 or 3 hours or whatever it is you think you're gonna need to upgrade a building. And you literally just, what I do is set my phone to not shut off, so like it'll Boom Beach itself in the game, like if after like 2 minutes of inactivity or 3 or 4 or 5 minutes or whatever, it would say like, is anyone there, tap here to reload the game. So what I would do is like, I do homework or something, set my phone down, and then every so often I just click the screen like this, and so that keeps me online so I can't get attacked when I'm going for a big upgrade. Now I know a lot of times you guys are kind of busy, so it kind of sucks though, but that's like probably one of the only ways to get a huge upgrade without getting attacked. Because like myself, if I'm stacked on resources, like this happened the other day, or the other week I should say, I was like maxed on resources, all that stuff, but I had to go to work, and as soon as I got to work, went on break, I checked my phone, I got attacked like 5 times, lost like all of my resources, and I was so close. I was only like 200,000 away from 200,000 iron away from an upgrade. So literally, if you can, plan out like an hour or 2 where you can do constant attacks with like going against Dr. Terror with the boosted resource reward and with stacked players on your map, attack all those guys, and then while you're reinforcing your troops right here, you just set it right here. You wouldn't do another attack until they were done, but you just like every so often just tap your phone so it stays online. Because for the iPhones you can set it where your phone doesn't close. It's in the settings. And so that's what I would do if I didn't have diamonds. Now sometimes like when I do maxing with diamonds and stuff like that, if I have a huge upgrade, I still get pretty I think I get a lot of resources and then max out like the last remaining diamonds that I can't. So for big upgrades, that is definitely one of the biggest tips that I can say. I mean, I'm not one of those people that gem my entire base. Like the reason why I did the HQ20 upgrade was because I honestly didn't have enough resources on my map to get that HQ20 upgrade, and I know since I was pretty stacked on resources already that if I went offline I would lose all of those. So I was just accelerating my progress. I know if I waited a little while and waited it out and waited for another player base, but that's like the best way to do it without diamonds. I know I kind of dragged this on, but that's just the tip I use. You see it in my journey to the top 50 videos a lot too, where I just sit down. I know I diamond my troops to finish them quicker for the video, but I don't diamond my resources on those videos usually. So the only thing that would be different if I wasn't making a video when I do it is I just literally, like I said, set my phone down and wait till the troops are done and then attack. So it's a great strategy. That's what I've been using ever since I started playing Boom Beach and attacking a lot. If you don't play very often and don't attack much, this might not be for you to get big upgrades. I don't really know what you would do. You kind of just upgrade your defenses, hope your base saves your resources kinda, I guess, but that's just a big tip for you guys, and it works. This tip is going to be about task forces. Whether you're the leader of a task force, whether you're just a member, it doesn't matter. This still applies to every single one of you. So for task forces, when they got introduced to the game, my first initial thought was I want to make a task force that has great communication and actually plans out attacks. Now, I know a lot of task forces that failed, and because there was no communication, there was no strategy involved in the operation attacks, because these bases are a nightmare to take down with no communications. Like, you need to talk about what buildings are going to go down where, what troops someone's going to use, and everything like that. So for task forces, literally, if you're a member of a task force and you're not asking your members, other teammates, oh, where do you guys think I should attack, to help them out and help yourself out, it's a team game. The more victory points you destroy, the more resources you all get. So always talk with your team members, plan out the attacks. That's why honestly, people ask me all the time why I only have 25 members in this task force. That's because 25 members for us is really efficient. Yeah, we can plan on our attacks easily. And I started out, when I first started this task force here, this is my main one, I started out at 5 until I got I lied. I started out with 10 players until we got all 10 of those guys communicating well, and if someone didn't communicate well and just attacked on their own, they got kicked out. So then I moved it up, I bumped it up to 25, and now pretty much everyone in here communicates very well, and if they join and they don't attack in operations, they get kicked. That's the rule on pretty much both of my task forces, Players for Life and BB Players. If you don't attack in an operation, you are going to get kicked, and you should be. And if you're a member in a task force and you don't attack in operations and you're just taking the loot and you're not contributing to the task force, you should not get mad if you get kicked. It's just how it works. And get intel, because intel is a big part of it as well. But yeah, so just if you're not in a task force that doesn't communicate at all, they don't plan out attacks, you all just kind of attack randomly, I would advise you get out and try and join someone else's, because communication is key and it's beneficial to everyone. This tip here kind of has to go with victory points and operation rewards. So every day, depending on how many medals you have, it changes how much victory points rewards you get. Sometimes you get a lot of resources like gold, stone, iron, whatever. Sometimes you get a low amount of diamonds, and a lot of times you get some shards and maybe fragments, depending on what level you are. Now with the victory point reward, I highly suggest, doesn't matter what shard it is, what fragment it is, I highly suggest you always take the shards and fragments, just because it helps with power powder, and power powder is so strong. It helps you take down the higher level bases, it helps you get a lot more resources and everything like that. You see I'm up to 84 power powder. It took me a long time to get that, and a big part of that was always being being disciplined enough to take the shards. It helps you get more guardians, which more masterpieces means more power powder, and a better chance to get better statues, which overall improves your base. So the only time sometimes I don't follow this rule though. Sometimes for the victory point reward, I will take the loot, and that is the only when it's for a big upgrade and I simply don't have any more player bases on my map, or I need to go quick, and if I go offline I'll get attacked. And that's the same with the operation reward. A lot of times I don't have a boat. Oh, we got a freaking shark on this video. Sweet. That's actually my second time actually seeing a shark. But yeah, so for the operation boat, a lot of people ask me why I don't get it right away, and because it stays for the whole day until your next operation ends. Same with the victory point rewards. It's not like it's just gonna go away. The only time it'll go away is like the next day. For me, victory point rewards come at 6 p.m. and the next day the next one comes. So if I miss out on it, that is because I didn't log on at all in a day, but it won't disappear until the next operation or victory point reward comes. So you can keep that there for an entire day. Just make sure it's in time before the next one comes. But honestly, I got asked that all the time why I didn't collect it, and because you don't need to. The only time you need to collect that is when you either the time is running out and you're just like, hey, I need to collect this, I'll take it, but I save it until I'm going for an upgrade and I need some resources. Because say I wish I really had the ship here, but say I had like 200,000 in iron and 400k in stone, and for some odd reason my iron was like maxed out and I was still 400k short on stone. So I would wait till I did all my attacks, wait till I cleared all my NPC bases and cleared my map of all my bases, and then I would go back to my operation reward and say, oh, I need the extra stone here, so I'm going to take it then, and then do my upgrade. So, because if you collect it right away, it's potential for it to be stolen when someone attacks your base. So that's the reason behind that, and it's the same with victory point rewards. I would only do the victory point rewards if it's for a big upgrade and you have like literally no other player bases on your map, and then take the resources. A lot of times I don't really take the gold because I find gold is super easy to come by for me. That might not be the case for you, but if I attack like all the NPC bases on my map, I'm pretty stacked on gold, so that's why I do that. Take the shards is just a big tip for you, and don't collect that stuff until you need it for an upgrade. This next tip I've gone over many times, and yeah, I can seriously make a whole video on it, but I'm just gonna make it short and simple for this one. This one is about the upgrades, and I know I've talked about whether you're an offensive player or a defensive player. Well, it doesn't really matter too much. There's still a few simple upgrades you should do. If you don't ever attack, then don't ever upgrade your gunboat or landing crafts. I mean, you can if you attack sometimes, which a lot of times people fall in like this mesh where they're really balanced, because sometimes they'll play and attack a lot, and then sometimes they'll fall off and then barely check boom beach, and then they'll come back again. And if you're that type of player, I would focus on upgrading your defenses and focus on upgrading your landing crafts. On my base, you can tell I am solely focusing on offense. I'm going all offensive base. I haven't even touched a defensive upgrade in so long. Now, you only need to do this if you want a offensive base and offensive attack style, and I suggest only doing that if you're an active player and attack a lot, because it kind of sucks because it's going to be super hard for you to get resources when you go offline, you're just going to get destroyed. And the only time that you can really upgrade things is if you have enough time to sit down and do a bunch of attacks and stay online for a while and then get an upgrade. So the more balanced approach is to upgrade your entire base, upgrade a defensive building here, upgrade a landing craft here, and stuff like that. And in this game, you don't get penalized yet for upgrading your HQ, so maxing or rushing your HQ is definitely fine. There's no downside to it. All it does is help you really right now. But if you're a defensive player, or you're looking to upgrade defenses, I should say, first start out with, like, if you have shock launchers, upgrade those if you can. If you have boom cannons, upgrade those if you can. If you have rocket launchers, upgrade those if you can. Then the next strongest defense, I would say, would either be the sniper tower or the cannons. I personally would upgrade a cannon because it can take out heavies, it can take out tanks, and then I would do the sniper towers because they deal a lot of damage as well. And then it goes down to either flamethrowers, machine guns. They're both really well. That's up to you. So kind of stay in that order if you're looking for upgrades. And if you're looking to do an offensive upgrade, I would go gunboat, then do your landing crafts, and then do your sculptor. Actually, do your sculptor first if you can. He's really expensive, but he helps out a lot if you're attacking, or you can even get it for another ice statue to help out your defenses. And then your armory to upgrade your troops. Now, if you don't really attack too much, your armory really isn't that important. You can still upgrade your gunboat abilities and whatnot, upgrade your mines, but it won't help you too much. But if you're offensive, definitely want to upgrade that, and upgrade your favorite troop choice. And then your radar is awesome because you can just expand your map, you get the hammerman bases, have more players spawning on your base, and everything like that. So I would typically follow this order. If you can't upgrade your sculptor, do your armory. If you can't upgrade your armory, do your gunboat. If you can't upgrade your gunboat, do your landing crafts. And if you can't, so yeah, just do it like that way. And whenever you can upgrade your HQ, do it. So that's kind of for upgrades for my policy. That was still kind of long, but you can literally make a whole video about it. It's just finding your play style. And if you want a balanced base, do a little bit of both. If you want a defensive base, focus more on that. It's honestly pretty simple, but that's just what I would follow for those guidelines right there. Now this is probably going to be the closing out of this video. There's a lot more kind of like tips slash, I don't know, little things to know about Boom Beach that I probably didn't cover in this video. There's a lot of things I I was trying to come up with a good list, and I just wanted to get the core main things that I find would help out a lot of players, new or been playing for a while. So that's pretty much gonna wrap it up for this video, guys. If I missed anything or any other tips that you think would help out other players, leave it in the comments. And for you, if you have a burning question or something, you know where to find me. Just do it in my comment section. Ask me a question there. I most always respond to pretty much every comment in my video, unless it's like hate or something. But yeah, so I hope you guys took something out of this, no matter how long you've been watching my videos. And I try and be as informative as I can, I guess, and try and teach you guys what I know. And if I missed anything or messed anything up, sorry about that. It happens. But yeah, anything else, you can leave that in the comments. Any tips or whatever. I just did the main ones that I think would help out the most. I know there's a few others, but a lot of things are subject to personal preference, and I'm biased on my opinions when being an offensive player. But yeah, so literally everything's not black and white in Boom Beach. There's a lot of in between, so it is what it is. But yeah, it took a while to make this video, guys, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to like if you did. Hope you guys have a wonderful day or night, and I'll see you guys later.